Good evening, valued constituents of the musical realm and various other internet pedestrians. Tonight we're checking out the Roland GP-16. Is it twice as good as the Roland GP-8? Well, most of the very wrinkly-brained and humble folks on internet forums seem to think that that's not the case. And they may be right. I don't necessarily intend to prove one way or the other. I'm just going to create a very 80s sound, since that's the only reason people get these things, to do these sort of deals. These kind of sounds. So I'm going to show you how I dialed that up, and we're just going to take a listen to the unit. All right, so stay tuned. All right, so I'm going to go through, and I'm going to turn off all the blocks. So you just hear the signal going through into my helix, where I'm running two signal chains in stereo, left and right. I've got a, I don't know, like a deluxe reverb on one side and a Vox on the other. So I'm going to go in and do that right now. So we're going to hit the function button down here, and you'll see block B. Those are all of our time effects, like modulations, delays, reverbs, things of that nature. So right now, we've got a lot going on. We're going to turn that all off. So 2 is our modulation, 4 is our delay, 5 is our illustrious reverb, 5. Okay? So now all you're hearing is the compression from block A. I should point out that the unit is split into two blocks, A and B. One has things like compression, distortion, phaser, things of that nature, auto-wah, and the other has time-based effects and modulations built into it. So you can send those to two different sources or kind of route it how you want. So we're going to take a look. In block A, I've got the compression turned on. So I'm going to turn that off too, so we can just hear the signal going straight through. All right, now let's start turning some stuff on. We'll put the compressor back on so you can hear that. Cool. It's a digital compressor, but it kind of does a thing. It does a thing. It's not the best thing in the world, but I kind of like it. All right, so now we're going to switch it over to effects block B. All right, and we're going to turn on the modulation, which is block 2. We're going to turn on the, let me look at the tiny, tiny list. Oh, it's so little. We're going to turn on the tap delay, which I think is 4. Wild guess at this point. And then the reverb, which is block 5. All right. Oh. So you can hear we have a 3-tap delay with a center, left, right. Yeah. And then we have a hall verb on. I can hear that. And then we have a very, very unabashed modulation effect called Dimension D. And it's got 4 presets on here. It's kind of like the big, huge 2-rack unit one. Sort of the version, their version of that. It's sort of like chorus. It's like a wide, sort of sophisticated chorus sound. It's interesting in this unit. So actually, if we scroll down, or maybe up. Aha, there we go. Space D. They call it Space D. Excuse me. We can actually go up. We got to pass through. You have to pass through the settings for each of these different units. All right, so here we have the modes. We're on mode 4. So if we go over to mode 1 on the Space D, it's very subtle. It's almost like a detune kind of effect. All right, and as you go to each preset, it gets more and more unashamed to be itself. You can hear there's sort of more swirling coming in. It's getting more complex. We'll go to mode 3. And then finally, the very glamorous mode 4, which is just all over the stereo spectrum here. Really like the sound. It's cool. cool. All right, so we'll leave it on that for now. And then we'll go and look at some of these other effects that we've got. So here you can see we've got center tap set to 335, left to 481, and R to 665. So it's kind of like the circular delay, but you don't get as much control over the individual feedbacks. They all kind of just feed from the same source there. But if you set it low, you do get kind of a cool circular effect, which is nice. All right, and then moving on. See, we can set their levels individually. Setting the levels individually is kind of more what gets you in that like circular domain. You would set the last delay a little bit weaker than the first one, kind of in a sequence, so that you get that circular sort of vibe happening. And then you can cut off the frequency, you can get even lower than 7 kilohertz. So it has more of an analog vibe. It's kind of darker. Sort of diffuses it a little bit more. Okay. Now if we keep going, now we're in verb territory. So we've got the decay set to 3.1 seconds, just sort of an arbitrary setting. It's in a hall. The cutoff, we can cut off even lower because we don't need any of that stingy digital high end. Now we're going to do a quick little playing example with the middle position of the 335. With the bridge pickup rolled back a little bit and the neck pickup rolled back a little bit more. So we get a nice blend of the pickups. There we go. All right, so let's mess around with some other stuff. Let's go to some of the other more forbidden effects in Block A, as the internet will have you believe these are supposed to be extremely terrible. So we will put that to the test. Let's go in here and we'll scroll down to Block A. Oh, let's see, what do we have? Let's try the Distortion. Why not? What do we have to lose? So that's obviously the overdrive. Whew, that's a little noisy, huh? Maybe we should turn on the noise suppressor. Haha, it works. Well enough. Yeah, and so on. Okay, so that's that sound. Let's turn that off. Actually, you know what we should do? Let's turn it into distortion. Oh, buddy. That's crazy. Let's see if we can, I don't know, switch this over to chorus. Okay, now let's go find distortion. Actually, maybe we should turn the compressor off. Let's do that. We'll turn the compressor off. Okay, that got rid of a lot of the noise. We'll go to distortion. There it is. It's a tone. Distortion 80. That's kind of a lot of distortion. Level 50. Whatever. That's fine. That's a little extra, isn't it? Okay, all right. Let me get a hold of myself here. And we'll just go ahead and turn that crap off. Away with you, demon. All right, well, while we're on this subject, let's check out some of the other effects in Block B, why don't we? There. No. So let's try Flanger. There we go. Madness. That is very crazy sounding. Pitch shifter. Oh, it's a mono pitch shift. Well, I don't care for it. I don't love it. It does not spark joy. Therefore, space D. Chorus. I think I like the chorus the most. It's the most usable. Woo! Yeah, I think the chorus sound ends up being the most versatile in here. It covers up this raunchy digital distortion that's so popular on the forums everywhere. Yeah. All right. Good night.